Hey, well, welcome everyone. My name is Rob Olson. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer with Technology Source. And every month we bring to you the virtual roundtable where we highlight some highly differentiated uh, services and technologies that add value for our clients. And today's no different. I'll introduce our experts here in just a bit. A little bit about Technology Source. If this is your first time joining us, Technology Source is a technology advisory firm that delivers best-in-breed solutions to our clients. We represent over 500 providers in managed IT services, cybersecurity, customer analytics, AI, telecom, and mobility services. Technology Source works closely with our partners to reduce operational expenses, improve efficiencies, while helping to deliver an outstanding experience for their customers, which is a big deal. There's a few things that I think add a lot of value for us. I'll share that. And one of them is escalation support. Implementation of technology can sometimes go sideways. And when it does, we're there to help. We help both during implementation to help with the project management as well as post-sale support should you have a trouble ticket that's not getting resolved. We provide a lot of leverage. Being a distributor as one of our functions, our suppliers want us to recommend them, and those recommendations provide us with some leverage to get things done when you're having problems. The next important function that we bring to our clients is recommendations. We don't take this lightly. We have a 15-point provider selection checklist to ensure that the solution that we recommend to you and your business fits your needs, will implement well, and you'll have a pleasant experience. The next thing is negotiations. So many folks suggest that we do bids. We don't like doing bids. We don't really see that as being the best approach. There are better ways to lever pricing, and we go that direction, and it's much more effective for our clients. And I think the best, highest savings we've ever been able to generate is somewhere in the 60% range. So it's impactful and valuable to our clients to let us help negotiate. Budget creation, the cost of technology goes down over time. So if there's a service you need, if you need to invest more in physical security, as an example, we'll look oftentimes at your voice and internet services, at your phone systems, at storage and other commoditized technology services where there could be a cost savings found there that we can then use to apply to enable another project. So we can help there for sure. And then the last thing I'll point out is quarterly business reviews, they just help us align with your upcoming projects so we can identify other solutions that solve your problems and move your technology solutions forward. Last but not least, 20 years in business, 4,000 clients. We operate in 60 countries with those clients, and we have 350 trusted advisors working with us across the US. All right, a little bit about our subject today. Before we introduce our panelists, I wanted to share some information I found online. 60%, this is a big number, 60% of companies have encountered breaches in their physical security measures over the past 5 years. So 6 out of 10 people have had some sort of breach in the past 5 years. And I would assume that number is only going up. The average cost of addressing a physical security breach is estimated to be $100,000. So the cost is very high. When it comes to physical security, that's an area where you definitely want to invest some money to protect yourself against that type of loss. And we're going to share some ideas today on how you can do just that. Last but not least, because of these trends, we're seeing 75% of companies now place physical security as one of their greatest priorities for their business. And that brings us to some of the tech advancements that we're going to be talking about today in this space, specifically physical security. So we're seeing AI. AI has become a big driver in this area and has really managed to bring some amazing solutions for our clients. Facial recognition technology, which was once reserved for like these giant casinos in Las Vegas, is now available for your small, mid-sized business. Unlimited cloud storage. No need to have a digital video recorder on site, which, by the way, oftentimes it gets stolen after a break-in because it contains their images, right? Zero-touch maintenance. You're busy. They know it. So the need to have to manage all this on your own is no longer a necessity. Cell phone access now replaces vulnerable card keys, right? Card keys get stolen, lost. cell phone access is much more efficient, much safer, and those phones often have an automatic lock. And then finally, all of this is available on a monthly service fee as opposed to a one-time capital expense. Most of our clients today want to hold on to capital, and having a monthly bill is beneficial for both their tax purposes and their budget purposes. All right, that brings us to our amazing panelists. We've got two folks here from the industry. Josh Dickinson, he's the Chief Revenue Officer over at FISAS, as well as Kimberly Apo, National Partner Manager, also with FISAS, but the parent company, Fortify.com. They've decided to join us today and bring us some fresh perspectives on this technology and how it can help some of our clients. So before we get started, hi, Kim. Hi, Josh. Thanks for joining.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Anything you want to add to the introduction of FISAS or Fortify? Anything I missed?
No, I think just as a whole, I think the solution that we provide really just is that proactive technology induced to kind of a thought process to security, being proactive instead of reactive, custom alerts, different things to see stuff to prevent it from happening instead of it happening, and then you have to react to it. So,
yes, component for sure. Over to the panel questions. One big differentiator of your physical security product that I saw is that's fully managed. Why is a fully managed solution an important consideration when our clients are selecting a security provider?
Fully managed means that we basically take over the entire project from you from start to finish. So everything from a budgetary proposal and demo to site surveys that we actually pay for. We project manage the entire installation, and then we set up all the different custom alerts. We program everything. And then after that, we provide the training, support, extra management, really just becoming that extension of your team. So that way, anything you need behind the scenes, we're going to do it for you instead of you having to have some person that actually does it as well as an employee.
That's great. Much easier. I know everyone's pretty busy. Kim, is there anything you want to add to that?
No, I would say, just what we're seeing a lot of times is just so much bandwidth being absorbed by customers having to maintain their security posture, maintain their security system, driving to and from locations, having to watch hours and hours of feed. So being able to offload that on a fully managed service like FISAS definitely alleviates a lot of that valuable company time to now drive revenue in other areas, right? And not having to spend that just with just the security pieces of things.
Yeah, our customers are busy, quite frankly. They don't have time to manage all these different aspects of their business, and whatever they can offload and have fully managed is a big benefit for them.
Yeah, I was gonna say also just real quick on top of that, we also monitor all the cameras as well. So we're actually pinging the cameras every couple of minutes to make sure that they're actually working. So after 15 minutes and no response, we automatically call the customer. We open a trouble ticket and decide, are we sending an overnight replacement? Is it a truck roll that we pay for because it is managed? Or is it a LAN issue and we work on getting that back up and going? Regardless, we try to shorten that liability as much as possible by doing those proactive monitoring alerts.
Yeah, that's actually a big thing. I was just at a hotel last week where I noticed that one of the hallway cameras, somebody must have jumped up on a chair and unplugged the cables. Now, I don't know if the camera was broken, the hotel did that, or if someone did that on purpose, but that can easily be missed on a big hotel, and having somebody watch that for you, I think, is very valuable.
And our customer, if that was our customer, they would have received that alert 15 minutes after it was down, and then we would have started the troubleshooting measures to get that back up and running. So that's really where our management comes back into play.
No, I agree. That's a big piece. So speaking of video cameras, I've seen that they've come a long way, and I had the opportunity to go on your website and take a look at some of these services, and I was amazed at just how much has changed. How can the new tech help our clients improve their physical security posture when it comes to video cameras?
Yeah, I can jump in on that. So what we're seeing a lot with the newer camera models is, or just camera functionality. I mean, it's got the AI built into it, and this is important where being able to recall video feed instances or be able to track a valuable asset that gets caught on camera frame. and you're not able, or you're now able to be able to, you know, circle an image, for example, and see where that box went missing in the last 30 days or where it was moved within the facility itself. And again, right, having that cleaner, streamlined security posture is just, again, a huge time saving and a cost savings for the client. We're seeing where, you know, from a proactive approach, right, we're able to monitor people coming and going off of the facility or off of the venue and being able to track that. And then as far as reactive too, right, being able to pull maybe a frequent perpetrator that comes on site, being able to catch their face quickly, address it, alert, you know, local authorities, for example. And it's all done simply from that single admin panel off of the FISAS platform.
Yeah, and then all the technology, the cameras themselves come with people recognition, geofencing, motion detection, so heat mapping. So all these different AI technology kind of features are all built in regardless. So all the cameras have those abilities. It's not an upgrade or an add-on. It's like Kim said, it's one pane of glass. So if you have multiple buildings, you can manage who, what, where, and how much as far as all your cameras, your doors, all from that one pane of glass.
Yeah, I like that the camera can follow somebody around. So if you're doing a tour, as an example, those cameras are fixed on that tour the entire time in case somebody decides to do something stupid. So I love that. All right. Talk a little bit about access control. In the past, access control has been done with a card key. I think we've all had the little lanyard on our belt, and you get in the card key. And the problem with card keys, quite frankly, is a couple things that I can think of. One is they get lost, and they get lost often, and that puts your facility at risk. And the second thing is the idea of tailgaters, which is a newer term I learned, and that's where people follow you in the door. How has new tech improved access management versus the traditional card key?
Yeah, so access control with our systems will be similar as far as being able to open doors with key fobs and card readers, just like any other access control system. The difference with our system is a couple of different things. One is we actually enable Bluetooth on your app. So if you want to use the traditional key cards, you can still use those, but like Rob said, it's a security threat. You can hand it off to a buddy, and that person can give it to a different buddy, and then you have a bunch of buddies all running around a facility. You could lose it; it could be picked up, and then you don't know who's in your property. So with Bluetooth, though, I live off of my phone. It's connected to me. I won't ever give my phone to somebody else because it is my entire life. So it really helps as far as that security measure. You could set the different parameters as far as the sensitivity. Do you want to be able to put it up to the card reader? Do you want to be in your car to be able to open an access gate? So a lot of different ways we can open or close doors with the Bluetooth. With the app as well, you'd be able to control, if you have multiple buildings, you control who, what, where, and how much. So who goes through what doors, what times they're available to go through. If you're in Africa, you can open up a door if somebody's trying to get in at 3 a.m. if it's an approved vendor or someone like that. So you have complete flexibility from your app to anywhere in the world to be able to manage who, what, where, and how much is inside your building.
Wow.
Also with tailgating, so the real value of our platform is that the cameras, the access control, everything is built into one platform. So it all talks, it all integrates. If you think about your home environment, you have an app for your ADT, an app for your Ring doorbell, an app for your garage door, you have a tiger or a dog in your house somewhere, you have a safe, all these different security measures, and none of them talk. So with our system, everything is communicating and integrated. So we can actually tie a camera and a door sensor together so that if one person swipes their badge and 3 people enter, you get that custom alert texted to you saying, hey, tailgating is occurring. It's that proactive approach to security. So you know immediately that 3 people enter your door instead of you wandering around your property and all of a sudden realize that you have 3 new people in your facility that shouldn't be there.
Wow, that's a big difference versus the old card keys. Well, there's a lot of things happening. It's all integrated together, which is amazing. So at the beginning, I said that AI and facial recognition are examples of some of the new technology being deployed. Can you demonstrate how that technology has revolutionized security solutions?
Yeah, I'll jump in on this one. So we're seeing a lot of instances where, you can, when you deploy a physical security solution, you can do it proactively or reactively. So proactively, if I know, say, for example, we see like in school districts where maybe there's a registered offenders list or, students that you need to monitor, being able to preload their faces into the system so that if they're crossing the camera facilities or the geofence of the camera itself, right? You're able to kind of monitor that. Whereas reactively, maybe you have a shoplifter that comes into a store frequently. You're able to capture their image of their face, right? And so now you're getting a text alert once they cross that line, or if they, visit any of your multi-locations, saving you a lot of that kind of searching and digging for that, the monitoring of those instances.
Yeah, the proactive aspect of that's amazing too, versus
Mhm.
waiting for the person to come in, steal something. You can meet them at the door and prevent entry.
Right.
That's much smarter. Josh, anything you want to add on top of that?
No, I mean, I really think just that proactive approach again, just having those custom alerts, being able to understand what the threats are, and then be able to implement something internally as a measure to be preventative. Again, instead of that reactive approach.
I like the idea that for schools, you can, if somebody is on the grounds, it shouldn't be on the grounds. You can notify security and police before they get into the building. And cause havoc, because it could be a registered offender, as you said, Kim, or it could be someone more violent. So being, again, that proactive nature of these solutions is so important in those types of applications. And unfortunately, for some reason, they don't utilize that technology the way they should. Um, so all this technology brings to mind difficulties and challenges, and it becomes, oftentimes hard for our customers to manage all these different tools. Is there a portal that they can access where they can actually access this information, or can they access it remotely on like a cell phone? Give us a little idea how that all works.
Yeah, so there's a couple different portals. There's the main portal that manages the command portal manages the entire security posture, I guess, of all the different products that we have in line, whether that's the intercom, whether it's the alarm monitoring itself, like an ADT type of service, the access control, sensors, cameras. Regardless of the product or the solution, and regardless of where you are, you can have that app anywhere, and you're able to manage that who, what, where, and how much. So you can control anything in all aspects of your security posture. If you want to see video, then you can go look at video from last week. If you want to be able to share it with other companies or other people, you'd be able to share it. All just from the app. Going back to the access control, who, what, where, and how much, you can set up all security postures for who's coming and going, what times are available, which doors are allowed to go through. So you have complete control and flexibility of that from the beginning. We also have the other app for the Bluetooth. So with that, you're able to go inside the doors, and you can set that sensitivity level. It opens gates as well. So if you have like a gate in a parking garage, the app can open that as well. So a lot of different things. You don't have to have a browser. You don't have to have people watching cameras nonstop. Really, you have everything just while you're driving around. You have complete visibility.
So anywhere you've got cell phone service, you can manage your security.
Absolutely.
Um, is there any chance we can see a demo of that portal, what it looks like, just to give people an idea of how easy it is to manage with this new?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So Owen's going to show us the kind of the portal right now, as well as we do all the management over the top. So the customer has that flexibility or the ability to do what they're looking for, or have that see the cameras. But
Yeah.
really, we want to manage it for that customer, so that way we know exactly the kind of the posture they're sitting in. We can manipulate it, and again, it doesn't take up their time. They can focus on what they're good at. We can focus on what we're good at.
Perfect. So, Owen, anytime you want to share your screen, we'd love to see the demo and how that portal works. It sounds pretty amazing, actually.
Perfect. So thank you very much. I just loaded up the portal now. As Josh mentioned and Kim, this is where all of the management is done, whether it's access control, video security, air quality sensors, alarms, intercoms, or the guest and mailroom management, which is a big in hospitality, hospitals, as well as schools for those background checks. For the cameras themselves, every camera is built in with the analytics that we have been going through on this call. Motion detection, whether that's by searching a specific area within the camera's frame. As you can see, the filter at the bottom is now looking for results over the past 30 days in that specific area, which in this case, it doesn't look like it's going to find any. But as we scroll through, you can see motion as a whole that includes following people throughout their direction of your facility with a line that is actually indicating the direction that they moved in. We do have the ability to track vehicles in a similar way, search to a specific area, or filter by the amount of people we're looking for in the frame in any given moment. We also obviously have the ability to go back and watch all of the retention of the camera. So at any given moment in this particular camera model, we have 30 days worth of footage to scroll through right here under the camera's live view. As we do scroll over, you can see the time is changing in the top left. So you can very, very quickly scroll through hours and hours of footage, once again, without having to be on site. This can be done directly through the mobile app or through the browser, as I am right now. Jumping into one of the other cameras, just so you can see that the features are throughout, no matter which model you have. This is actually an intercom model, which will also have the built-in people and facial analytics. Anytime a person is detected, we're going to get a screenshot of that person's entire body walking through the camera frame. We can click into it to bring us back to the historical footage or dwindle it down to their particular face. From this point in time, we will have the ability to set up those proactive alerts. Back on the home page within the cameras, if we toggle to the people section, we have the ability at the top to set up a person of interest preemptively if we know someone has caused problems in the past. We can also add a picture of someone who may have never been picked up on our camera before. With those alerts, those can be sent via an email, a push notification directly through the app, or an SMS text message. And one of the coolest features when it comes to the analytics is actually going to be the ability to search by specific attributes. So if you have information on a date and time that a person was in your building, or even a specific color of clothing that they were wearing, we actually have the ability to filter by those specific results. So when it comes to the analytics, as I always say, the more information you know, the better, the easier it will be to go back and track. But having this built into your physical security solution, the ability to go back and look for these specific results without having to look through those hours of footage is a great benefit for anyone trying to protect their people, employees, or their building. As I mentioned, the vehicles are also a feature for exterior cameras, whether that's a license plate of interest or searching by a specific make and model or even color of a car.
That's crazy. Wow.
Briefly jumping into the access control as well. As you can see at a glance, we do have the current state of our doors. As Josh and Kim mentioned, controlling when a person has access, what time, what days, how they have access, whether that be through the Bluetooth unlock app or a card or key fob, quickly revoking those credentials for an ex-employee, or even setting up alerts for specific events, all customized directly through this platform with the help of our team. But the biggest feature when it comes to the tie-in within the single pane of glass management is going to be this tie-in with camera footage as well as access events. So under our full audit trail, we have any open event for our specific doors, and we actually have a little button here on the side labeled Watch Events. When I click on this button, what it's going to do is actually take me back to that camera footage of the moment that this door was actually opened. There we go. So as we can see right here, we have the live view from the historical footage. It's tied into a door directly to the right of our intercom. We see the open event happening right here with one of my colleagues actually opening the door and gaining access. So particularly for after-hour events, you no longer have to search through your camera system separately than the access control system. You have the ability to immediately tie in a camera with your specific doors, one on the inside, one on the outside, and have that access automatically showing directly with any particular event. Filtering by particular users, access denied events, all of that can be done and exported if you need reports saved to constantly have an audit trail of anyone who has accessed your facility. As for the intercom side, Obviously, the 5 megapixel camera comes built in with the features, customizing alerts, the escalation patterns, all of that is done directly through this platform as well, whether that ties back to a station at a reception desk or it's going directly to someone's mobile device. Everything is completely customized throughout this platform, and we will always be on the back end to make sure we give any assistance. If there's any problems that come up, any configuration changes that are needed, any users need to be added or removed, our team will always be in the background to give assistance.
Okay. Amazing. Anything, Josh, Kim, that you want to add to that?
Yeah, I would just say, understanding kind of the functionality of being able to toggle so quickly through your different platforms is, again, kind of a huge benefit. And we're seeing a lot of value in, and again, a time savings in just a management savings, right? And being able to tie your cameras, your access control, and even sensors, like Owen kind of reviewed a little bit on there. And then, of course, like you mentioned, the AI technology that's built into there. And I know we went over the persons of interest. We were able to pull up faces and people, or even full body shots and colors, and having that searchability for certain attributes are all kind of things that typically don't come with some of these systems that are, I don't want to say basic, but sort of, right? And whereas now you've got this much more intuitive solution that can do a lot of that heavy lifting for you to manage your physical security posture.
Yeah, I really
Yeah, I
like
was
that.
also going to add as well. I mean, I keep saying the proactive approach, but this really is that proactive. You're able to gain that person of interest ahead of time instead of them being in your building, as well as something we really can't kind of demo, but we also have that alarm monitoring available. So just like ADT has call centers across North America with people watching cameras, the abnormalities, is it a raccoon in your trash can or a person that's knocking on your door or banging on your door, alerting the authorities that are local to you and then having somebody on site immediately to be able to mitigate that risk. So we have a lot of different options, as well as just that proactive AI induced approach again. So
yeah, I was actually surprised at the what it can do. Like the idea of being able to search through tons of hours of video looking for a backpack or a red shirt based on a description is a huge time saver than trying to go through the video on your own and looking for alerts as to when there was motion, especially if it's a busy facility where you might have a ton of alerts. I love the idea of being able to add in somebody is a person of interest that you want to know is entering the facility before such time that they could do some harm or be involved in the theft of merchandise. And then lastly, the thing that really surprised me was the vehicle part, where you can actually look for a suspect's vehicle and potentially gain a license plate by searching for the make and model. I didn't know that was remotely possible anywhere. So that's the technology there is kind of surprising. Is there anything in that demo that we didn't see that you want to bring up before we move on?
no, I mean, we also offer a couple other things like sensors. So like door sensors, glass break sensors, water leak sensors, stuff like that. We also, there's not really ability to show a demo on it, but Bluetooth can actually open LPR cameras, as well as Bluetooth can open security gates for as you're driving through. So you don't have to type in the pin pad, especially if it's raining or something like that. We have air quality sensors as well. So if you're thinking about like your air quality, if you have volatile compounds, or if you want to know the humidity, temperature always, stuff like that, we'd be able to really kind of solidify your environment a little bit better with just different details.
So if a pipe was to burst in your building overnight, that would the humidity sensor pick up that change and alert you? I would imagine it would.
The water leak sensor would for sure. As far as just it captures the water coming out of the pipe and automatically senses it. And then again, you get that custom alert texted to you. So that way, instantly, rather than walking in the very next morning and then realizing something happened and your entire floor is flooded and assets are ruined.
I know you mentioned to me in a prior conversation about how schools now are using these air sensors to identify if people are vaping in the bathroom.
Yeah, absolutely. So we put Kim and I are on calls all the time with different educational institutes, and we hear different stories from they're pulling 100 cartridges or 100 vape things out of toilets every week to they have wings of the school shut down because they don't have enough manpower to administrators to man the bathrooms to make sure people aren't vaping. So what we actually do is we put a vape sensor in a high school bathroom traditionally. Hopefully it's not elementary. Vape sensor in a high school bathroom. We put a camera on the outside of the bathroom, and when the vape sensor goes off, the vice principal automatically gets footage texted to him on the spot of who went in and out of the bathroom. So it's instant, it's actionable, it's on the spot. It's not cleaning out the toilets later on, being that reactive approach again. It's going to be, immediately what happened.
Yeah, and the glass break, I think, is a critical piece of it because if someone's going to come in, they're not going to come in through a heavily fortified door. They're going to come in through a window, open a latch, unlock the door by breaking the glass. And that's a key component, which is it may be obvious, but maybe not. I've noticed there are people I know that have 3 deadbolts in their front door, and I always point out to them, they're just going to break a window and get right in. Doesn't make very much sense. No,
Well, they
that's
always say that locks are created to keep honest people out. So the more locks you have, the more honest people you keep out.
exactly.
One of the things that he didn't also show would be the panic buttons. It's just not really a demo on it, but we do have panic buttons that go directly to the authorities. So if you have somebody at a front desk or a classroom environment or a large facility where you had that threat of people coming in or some kind of emergency, we have panic buttons that you just press and they automatically go to 911. Authorities will show up immediately instead of going to like an intermediate place and then deciding if it's an emergency. It's just automatic dispatch.
Yeah, I know in Las Vegas, I'd heard that a lot of the hotels now are requiring their housekeeping staff to wear those because attacks on their housekeepers are going up.
Oh
And
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think 60%, 65% of all housekeepers have admitted to being assaulted in some kind of way, which that number is huge versus just what I would think it would be. So this is kind of their safety mechanism to be able to make sure they're working in a safe environment, less threats, and just mitigating that kind of that safety issue.
yeah, I think it's just a thing too to make sure that you have that. If someone sees your staff wearing those panic devices, they're going to obviously think twice. And I think the proactive aspect of what you're doing is very sensible. Business cases. So I think anytime we talk about services and talk about features and benefits, I think it helps to talk about particular solutions so everyone can see how this all integrates together to work. Is there a couple cases you can share with us that maybe help us understand a little bit more about how various industries are using these technologies you bring to the market?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, the people recognition is a huge factor, right? So you're able to identify people of interest before they're on site. So we have one customer. It's a restaurant group. It's 7 different restaurants, one GM, and they have a problem with dine and dashers. So now every time somebody doesn't pay their bill, they just circle that person's face on the screen. And if that person shows up on camera in any of his 7 restaurants, he automatically gets a text on the spot. So again, it's instant, it's actionable. He can take that video footage the last time, send it to his local manager, and make sure they take care of it. He can make sure they pay their bill this time, so that way they're not looking at video footage that night trying to figure out who, or matching up receipts of customers and receipts, or watching video footage of lunch rush of the 3 hours of who snuck out with their server's back turned. It's all right there for them, and they get that text immediately.
Yeah, the amazing thing too that I want people to understand about this technology is it's not prohibitively expensive. I think the assumption would be, wow, to add this, this sounds really, really interesting, but boy, I can't afford it. And tell us a little bit about that. Is it affordable? Is it much more expensive than a traditional system to deploy this technology, or about the same?
Yeah, absolutely. So the kind of the way our model works out, because of the management, because of the technology involved, we actually provide it as an OpEx model as well as that managed service. So OpEx, so that way you're not putting all that capital up front for your hardware, the cameras, the doors. It's built out into a monthly fee. A lot more affordable, save your cash for a different rainy day. And then the managed side of it, everything from start to finish. So a budgetary proposal and demo to site surveys, project managing, all the installation, and then ongoing support and training, just basically becoming that quote unquote extension of your security team.
Yeah, you made it pretty painful for sure.
But yeah, no, the OpEx model makes it a lot easier to be able to consume. So you're just consuming it on that monthly basis. Of that the hardware, an average camera is going to be over $1,000 in price. Now you're paying less than $50 a month for it.
Is there a particular area where you're seeing a lot of activity right now? And maybe you can share with us an example of the types of solutions you're using for that industry.
Yeah, I'll jump in on this one. So, Josh mentioned a little bit about kind of restaurant groups. We're seeing a lot of interest in kind of healthcare facilities. So, for example, we have a facility where, there's several moving pieces. So, for example, they want the camera accessibility to be able to see, of course, people coming and going. We had an instance where they wanted to monitor like the discharge of patients and making sure like, yes, that patient actually did leave the facility after they were discharged or they were admitted into the facility. This particular client also happened to have interest in tracking wheelchairs. They were spending a lot of money on the loss of wheelchairs. When patients would leave, these would disappear, somewhere off into the parking garage, or they would take them home, or even hospital beds. Believe it or not, those go missing quite often. And so being able to see those images across the picture frames and track those as they leave, right, and get alerted like, hey, they've left that geofence kind of perimeter that we've set up. So there's like that, those kind of areas. And then we're also seeing this particular client also had where they had a 24-hour pharmacy drive-through, being able to track these cars and vehicles that are coming through, understanding when, a medication was picked up. And again, kind of that liability protection from the pharmaceutical side for right distribution of the meds. And so there's a lot of different angles you can kind of see. But again, being able to manage that from a single pane of glass has saved them a lot of time, a lot of valuable resources, hiring, right, employment, individuals, and being able to really utilize their staff at full capacity more efficiently.
What's amazing is this technology in the past, when you hear about it, was usually attributed to government agencies and big Las Vegas casinos that had the budget to put this in place, and now it's in reach of our small to mid-sized clients, our enterprise clients that in the past maybe wouldn't have the budget to build such a solution, and now it's affordable, it's easy to implement, it's fully managed. You made it easy.
Fully scalable, right? You can start off with one location. As your company grows, you can add it, and being able to, again, right, manage that from a single point or browser or phone, wherever that need be.
And being scalable also, I mean, if you start with a couple cameras as you have some malfunctions of your current existing system, you can always build that out as well as they continue to fail, continue to add in our system.
So you don't have to put the whole thing together at one time. You could do it in phases.
Oh, absolutely. It's completely scalable. As Kim mentioned, we can be coterminous. We'll be flexible with that pricing at that point. But yeah, so you can start with just your cameras, add in doors later on. You can start with 5 cameras today, add 3 cameras next month. We can work with you on everything.
Fantastic. That flexibility is appreciated. And sometimes in technology, it doesn't always work that way. People tend to stick you in a package and you have to choose that package to do business with them, and being able to customize and build exactly what you want, the way you want it, with that flexibility, I think is very valuable.
Yeah, I mean, with the coterminous, we're not going to get locked into or handicapping you to staying with us, even if you don't want to be with us. So this way you do have an actual term, even if you are scaling it out, and it all is coterminous, and you can decide what to do at the end of it instead of being trapped.
Fantastic.
And the other, just kind of adding to that too, obviously we've got the term of the services and the hardware, but understanding that the actual hardware itself, the cameras, the access, everything that has a 10-year warranty, even outside of once you finished your actual contract term. So you're protected for 10 years, right? This becomes a valuable kind of asset of yours, right? Valuable real estate for protecting your businesses and people.
That's a nice warranty. I mean, I feel like everything I buy breaks after the warranty ends. So having 10 years of knowing that that device is going to work or be replaced is nice. You can rest easy knowing that it's not going to be a surprise and it's not going to work. And also speaks to the quality of the materials. I mean, if you're using good quality stuff, you can afford to do a warranty. If it's not well made, there's no way you can slap a 10-year warranty on it. So
So yeah, the exterior cameras are built a little bit more sturdy and durable than interior cameras, but they are made to resist the elements, humidity, moisture getting inside. So they're made to last.
well, let's talk a little bit about implementations. I think that's the part that scares people when it comes to technology. We've all had experiences that weren't so great. Walk us through the process. How does it work? You've made everything else pretty easy. Hopefully you've made this easy too. But can you explain when, once someone signs in the bottom line, what happens next and how does the implementation process work?
Yeah, so once the implementation, so we get the installation costs from the site survey because we never know what each facility entails. Can we use the existing wiring, existing parts, door components? So once we get the site survey results back, the scope of work, the cost, we present everything as a full solution. So you have a monthly cost. The only thing that's upfront is the install. And then we project manage everything from start to finish at that point. So we're going to use the same tech that we use for the site survey as the install because that person's already been on site, built that relationship, seen the facility, provided us kind of the build out of what it would take to install everything. So that person will go back on site. We coordinate with all parties as far as timing goes, where the materials are going to get delivered to. All the hardware comes pre-configured, so it basically gets drop shipped. So all the installer has to do is actually just plug it in and manipulate some wiring most of the time. So everything is already done. Once all the equipment is actually installed and in place, we'll do a commissioning call. We'll set up all alerts. What kind of security posture do you want? Who has access through doors at 1, 2, and 3? Who has access through doors 6, 7, and 8? What times are those available? Who has access to the camera footage, who has the ability to share it versus just view historicals. So we build that entire thing out. If you have 600 employees, we create all their credentials for every one of the doors. Again, so it takes it off of your plate. You don't have to do it. This is fully managed. Once everything is installed, commissioned, all alerts are set up, then it's off to the races. It's yours to be able to look at, view, allow entrance. And then we're always in the background. Anything you need, if you have a hiring, firing, send us an email with that person's credentials. We'll do it all for you. So anything you need behind the scenes, we quote unquote become that extension of your security team.
Oh, incredible, incredible. Kim, anything you want to add to that?
No, we try to make it as easy as possible for you, like Josh mentioned. And I think the biggest thing is understanding that it's custom. We understand that every business has their own special needs and expectations of how they want their security system deployed. And so we take the time to really walk through exactly, what needs to be done and what are your expectations as far as how you want it designed. And our engineers do a great job of putting that all together. And we lay that, very clearly out on our presentation of the whole solution and package when we go through kind of the line by line items. So, just understanding that it is very personal to you as a company, and we do our best to go through that and make it such.
And I'll add that we've never had an escalation, a problem, an issue that's come to our attention when working with your organization. I think that's a big plus because in the technology space, that's almost non-existent. So it says a lot. For those of you on the call that would like to schedule some time to meet with our experts from FISAS to discuss a custom solution for their physical buildings, please reach out to me at rob.o@technologysource.com. I will put you in front of our experts here and you can learn more about their system, discuss possible solutions, and hopefully schedule implementation because it sounds like it's an unbeatable solution. First of all, thank you, Kim, and thank you, Josh, for doing this. It's been very enlightening. I'm shocked really by how things have got to where they are today in terms of technology when it comes to physical security. I think most people don't expect this to be in the realm of reality for small to mid-sized business. This, again, I think government, I think casinos, but being able to implement this tech, this high tech in your small, mid-size business without running into budgetary concerns, I think is paramount. So thanks again for the amazing presentation. Is there anything you want to add in closing before we adjourn today's call?
We appreciate the time and the opportunity to come speak to everyone. And, we're here to support any conversations hereafter. So.
Well, thanks again. And make sure for those of you that are listening to this webinar that you join us every month as we continuously bring innovative solutions to our clients each and every month. Thanks, Kim. Thanks, Josh. We'll see everybody on the next virtual roundtable 1 month from today. Thanks.
Perfect. Thanks, Rob.